American Airlines has some of the most valuable miles of any airline, and by far the most valuable of any US-based airline. I consistently get 2 to 4 cents per point on any of my domestic redemptions with American, and north of 6 cents per point for my international business class redemptions. The strength of American Airlines' domestic and international route networks, and the value of their miles and the redemptions that you can get puts this very high up the list for most in terms of value. But American Airlines is not a transfer partner of any bank yet. They had a brief stint with Bilt, and there's a lot of news about Citi and American, so we'll see what shakes out there. Aside from that, it's tough to earn American Airlines miles unless you're flying a ton, or if you're committed to using their different methods to earn a lot of miles and loyalty points, that being the e-shopping portal from American, AA hotels, and doing so in a combination with their co-branded credit cards. Now, I put together a 2-part series on how to hit status with American Airlines in short order. Part 1, I'll link in this video. Part 2 may be out by the time of you watching this. It was all about hitting status with American, doing so in just a matter of weeks or months, and being able to build up the miles and the loyalty points so that you can leverage that status strictly for point redemptions. But in this video, I'm going to show you another way, a way in which you can earn more American Airlines miles and points and save on your flight redemptions without having to spend on their co-branded cards or in their ecosystem at all. And stick around until the end. I'm going to show you exactly how to make all of this happen. Now, some of you may be familiar with booking American Airlines flights in the British Avios system through British Airways. Personally, I feel like that booking portal overall is complete trash and lacks a lot of American availability. Now, with that off my chest, what I'm referring to is being able to leverage American Express membership rewards points for American Airlines flights. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but just stick with me here. So some of you know this that are a little bit more advanced in this space, but Hawaiian Airlines is a transfer partner of American Express, and they transfer at a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 membership rewards point equals 1 Hawaiian mile. You're probably still asking, what does that have to do with American Airlines? Well, in late 2024, Hawaiian and Alaska finalized the merger and opened up the ability to transfer points between those two ecosystems. And yes, I did say Alaska, not American, but I'll get to the point here in just a second. Now, keep in mind, this strategy is also possible with Bilt rewards since Hawaiian is a transfer partner of Bilt. But for those of us that have a large amount of American Express membership rewards points, or we're looking into any of the specific cards with high welcome offers, this is a strategy that you may want to deploy. Now, I had mentioned Alaska, and with Alaska Airlines, you have the ability to see most availability with American Airlines flights since they are partners in the One World Alliance, and you're going to find a lot more availability on Alaska versus British and British Avios with a much better booking experience. Another point of value here, it'll cost you way less points or miles to book these flights via Alaska than it would via British or through American directly. And I'll give you some specific examples here in just a second, but just know that a flight that may be 12,000 miles to book on American Airlines site directly, or roughly the same via British if you can find it and you can navigate that process, may be more along the lines of 7,500 miles or less, down to 4,500 miles via Alaska. And the tax may be $19 booking via Alaska for these flights versus $5.60 on American Airlines website, but the value and the savings that you're going to get will far outweigh that difference in the cost of the taxes and fees. So I'm going to get into some specific examples here, but do yourself a favor, go to Alaska's website, go to American's website, search for some specific routes, look at the points redemption and the dollar amount of those flights. And what you'll find will probably surprise you like it did me. There are some sweet spots for booking international redemptions via Alaska since you can include stopovers, but for this video, I'm going to focus mostly on domestic redemptions. Couple of flights to Mexico as well, but it's just so difficult to get outsized value for domestic redemptions. Unless you're using the Sapphire Reserve and you're getting 1.5 cents per point in the Chase Travel Portal, or you're using the American Express Business Platinum and you're getting roughly the same redemption level as you would with the Sapphire Reserve, but in the AMEX Travel Portal. But we can do a lot better than 1.5 cents per point. and I'm going to prove it to you. So here's a few specific examples that I'm going to be personally taking advantage of. So first, and by the time of this recording, this trip has probably already transpired. We're going back to Nashville. This will be the third time taking the kids back up there with us. We're still looking into some different properties. It's tough with the market and that sort of thing. I'll save that for another video. I found some great redemptions in 2024 on American Airlines website specifically, and these were for direct flights between Tampa and Nashville, but with Alaska, it gets even better. So looking at this first option, Tampa to Nashville, $130 for the economy fare. For anybody that's challenging why I'm not booking basic economy and the cent per point redemptions with basic economy, you can't change or cancel the flight and get a refund, and you earn less miles per dollar if you do pay cash for those. So $130 per ticket, not bad, but there's 4 of us traveling, so 130 times 4, these things do add up. Now with American, it's still a good redemption, 8,000 miles plus $5.60 in taxes and fees, so still around 1.55 cents per point on the redemption, but it gets a lot better. So now if we look at Alaska, this same flight would only be 4,500 miles, so 3,500 less miles, and $19 in taxes and fees, so just over $13 more in taxes and fees. But if we take that rate at $130 for the economy flight, minus $19 for the taxes and fees, and we divide that by 4,500, this is over 2.4 cents per point on the redemption for a domestic flight. Even looking at the following weekend, the flight was slightly less, $120, and 7,500 miles on the American website, still a good redemption there, or the 4,500 miles on Alaska's site. So still north of a 2 cent per point redemption that saves us over 3,000 American miles and allows us to use American Express membership rewards points that are way easier to earn than those American miles. Now you may find more availability on American's website for the American specific flights, which is common, especially for the non-stops, but it'll cost you more miles on American, even though American does have pretty good cent per point redemptions. Now here's another example, and this is during the popular spring break time when it can be very difficult to find any sort of redemptions. Looking at Tampa to Cancun, this is a really popular route, by the way. $302 for the economy fare, $422 for the first class fare, and keep that in mind because we're going to come back to it. So looking at the redemption options here, first with American, a pretty good redemption, 12,500 miles plus $48 in taxes and fees, still north of a 2 cent per point redemption. This is exactly why I love those American Airlines miles so much. There's so many good opportunities for redemptions and getting good value, but I do want to save some of my American Airlines miles. Eventually I'll redeem that for JAL or try a flight over to Asia, which is why I want those American Airlines miles specifically, and the fact that I can use these AMEX membership rewards points is just money in the bank to me. So now looking at Alaska's options for this same redemption. Now there's no economy class bookings available for this flight specifically, but if we look at first class, only 15,000 miles and $61 in taxes and fees. Now keep in mind that fare, $422 minus the $61 in taxes and fees divided by the 15,000 miles, a 2.4 cent per point redemption, another great value. I'd like to see Delta or Southwest or United or anybody with the Chase Sapphire Reserve compete with this type of redemption for a flight to Mexico. So how do we make this transfer happen? Well, let's get to it. So first things first, you need to be an American Express membership rewards points earning card holder. So think the American Express Platinum, the Gold, the Green, the Blue Business Plus, none of the cashback cards from American Express, and none of the co-branded cards with the airlines or the hotels would apply here. Next, you need to make sure that you have loyalty accounts that are active with American, Hawaiian, and Alaska. It takes a few minutes to set up each of these if you don't have any of them. Just make sure that your information is identical. Maybe not your passwords. So with Alaska and Hawaiian, this is a scenario that I just ran into. If you've had one or both of these accounts, first make sure that the information matches up. Second, you want to make sure that the accounts are active. If you haven't taken any flights recently, if you don't have any of their credit cards, then there's a good opportunity one or both of those accounts could be inactive. Now with Hawaiian, you can use their chat feature to contact them directly. They'll confirm if the account is active or inactive, and if it's inactive, they'll activate it for you, which they had to do for me. With Alaska, it's a little bit more old school. You need to call in directly, provide some information. Takes about 60 seconds, but they'll reactivate the account. And the reason I mention all this is I kept hitting an error message from my phone, from my laptop when I was trying to transfer miles from Hawaiian to Alaska. And the whole reason is that both of these accounts were inactive. From there, we need to go into the American Express portal and make sure that Hawaiian is an active transfer partner, and you do this by entering your Hawaiian loyalty number in when prompted. So once you do this, you're free to transfer points from American Express out to Hawaiian. It's an instant transfer. You'll get an email notification almost right away. Keep in mind there's a small fee. It was around $3 for every 5,000 miles transferred, which is pretty much the standard when transferring points from American Express to any of the domestic airlines. Next, once you've identified any of the American Airlines flights that you want to take, and you've identified that those routes are available via Alaska and that the point redemptions match up, you can transfer those points from Hawaiian to Alaska Mileage Plan. And to do this in your Hawaiian account, if you select redeem points, scroll down a little bit and you'll find where you can select transfer now, where it talks about Hawaiian and Alaska. It prompts you to log back into both of those specific loyalty programs, and then you can move as many points as you need to from Hawaiian over to Alaska and vice versa. And that's it. Now you're ready to book those flights and get incredible redemptions in the process. Now, if you want to see the best credit cards for status, click this video here. Or if you want to see part 1 of the series for how to hit status with American Airlines, check out this video, and I'll see you there. Cheers.